What's up? That's a Euro step. And yes, I wanted to get that out of the way so I can get right into the fact that, yeah, the AFC East is a beast. Check it out. All four teams in the AFC East currently in the playoff picture. You see it there. Dolphins are the 2 seed. Jets are the 5 seed. Patriots are the 7 seed. And the Patriots had the past week to engage in some self-care. Had a chance to recharge, revitalize, tune up for the time of year when they used to heat up. Hasn't been that way the past 3 years, though, huh? And this year, they're still in an identity crisis. It's the most important 8 games of Bill Belichick's career. Nah, it's probably not, but it's still pretty big. So here's what we're going to get to in the next half hour or so. AFC East whip around. We'll talk to 3 individuals from each of the AFC teams that are not here in New England. Rocky road ahead. Yeah, it's tough down the stretch for the Patriots. Place your bets. Patriots going to make it to the playoffs or not? And then irrelevant questions, greatest hits coming up at the end. But here's the Jets resume, because we're going to start in New York with the Patriots' opponent for this upcoming weekend. 2nd in the AFC East. Who saw that coming? 5th in the AFC. 2-1 record in the AFC East with the Bills as one of their kills. Here's Bob Glauber, esteemed longtime journalist who's covered the Jets for years. Robert, are the Jets afraid of the Patriots anymore?
Yeah, they actually are. I'm sure they are. They would never admit that. They hate the Patriots, but they're absolutely, Patriots are in their heads, because as much as they try to just get ready for this matchup, the results always go against them. So that is a team that is inside the Jets' head. There's no question about it.
And to exercise that, they needed to perform well at home. Instead, they were held hostage by the 2nd overall pick in the 2021 draft, Zach Wilson. Is there a way to penetrate through the headband, through the forehead, and into his brain and say, can you not mortgage the future of these adult men who are playing alongside you?
Yeah, I think there is, and I think Robert Saleh hit it after the Patriots game, and he did that a lot of times last year. He said, Zach, it's okay to be boring. And by that, I mean, when the play is not there, don't extend it. Don't run the risk of throwing interceptions like you did the last game. Just dirt it, throw it out of bounds, take the sack if you have to, and live to see another day. And I think Zach has taken that advice to heart, and he's going to have to do that, because Bill Belichick is the smartest man in football, maybe the history of football, as a defensive coach. So he does things that confuse young quarterbacks, and Zach has absolutely been impacted by that in a terrible way.
And Bob, I know that you've battled gambling issues throughout your life, but I do want you to make a prediction right now for us, no money involved. Who finishes atop who in the standings? Will the Jets finish ahead of the Patriots?
That's a really good question.
I know, that's why I
think
asked
they will.
it.
No,
that was a filibuster answer.
I think the Jets do finish ahead of the Patriots this year in the standings. I'm just not sold on the Patriots being a consistently good enough team record-wise, but this is a hell of a division. I don't think we've seen the division this good from top to bottom in a long, long time. So, but I will say right here, right now, I'll say the Jets have the better record. Now, I do think the Patriots are going to win this game, but down the line, I think it'll be the Jets ahead of them.
Okay. Well, quiet please in the library. I love that shot. They're going to be kicking you out of there in just a minute or two. I love that guy. I really do. All right. Here's the Bills' resume. That's a surprise as well to see them 3rd in the AFC East. They are truly the beast of the East. They'll see the Patriots weeks 13 and 18. Now we bring in from the Athletic Buffalo, Tim Graham, one of the best writers in America. I'll say it right to his face. And here he is, one of the most esteemed writers in the United States. It's Tim Graham. And Tim, 2 losses in a row for the team that I thought was the odds-on favorite to represent the American Football Conference in the Super Bowl. They're in 3rd place in the AFC. Is this just a glitch, or is there a real cause for concern?
I think there is a cause for concern, but it's not necessarily an indictment of the Bills. I think it's more a misreading of the rest of the division. I think that one of the safest bets in Las Vegas before the season began would have been the Bills to win the AFC East. And those odds were actually very short because everybody assumed that the Dolphins were imploding with everything going on with Stephen Ross and the Brian Flores lawsuit and an organization that had been trying to move on from Tua Tagovailoa for a long time, flirting with Deshaun Watson. It just didn't seem like that was going to work out. The Jets, I think that their win total in Vegas was 4.5 before the season began. So everybody's just pretty good.
Are you concerned at all about old Josh's elbow?
No, I'm not really concerned about the elbow. If I were a Bills fan, I'd be more concerned with what's happening between his ears. And he has thrown a lot of late interceptions. He's doing things that he has never done in his career. And that includes his rookie season and his sophomore campaign when he was pretty reckless, playing a lot of hero ball, trying to do too much. Even in those seasons when he was kind of reckless, he didn't throw red zone interceptions. He threw 2. In the fourth quarter and overtime against the Vikings. He threw 2 fourth quarter interceptions against the Packers, something he had never done prior to week 8. He's now done that 2 of his last 3 games.
Are the Patriots viewed as seriously? It's almost heresy to say this, but are they viewed as seriously as the Dolphins might be, or even the Jets might be, considering the recent history?
Well, not here in Western New York yet. At least that's a fan's perspective that I think I'm pretty confident in relaying to you, just based on, reading the situation, finger on the pulse type stuff. And the reason being, Tom, is that the Bills haven't played them yet. And the Bills are 0-2 against the Dolphins and Jets, both of those games on the road. So those teams do have to come to Orchard Park. But with the Patriots not being on the schedule until December, it's just an interesting unknown right now for Bills fans, but they do know that the Bills have lost already to the 2 teams that are ahead of them in the standings in the AFC East. And it is pretty odd to think of the Bills in 3rd place here in the middle of November.
Uneasy times in Western New York. Tim Graham, thank you very much. How about we shoot down to South Florida now? We got Ruthie Polinsky. This is our resume, as you can see it there. Surprisingly, the first place team in the AFC East. But Ruthie Polinsky, formerly of WPRI, Channel 12, she's now at NBC 6 in South Florida. Give us the skinny, Ruthie, on what's going on. Hi, Ruthie. You know what? Silly me. I keep waiting for the pixie dust to blow away and for Tua to become inaccurate and start throwing picks and for Mike McDaniel to look like a first-year coach, and it just isn't happening. Do I need to believe?
I think it's time you start believing, Tom. I think there's a lot of reason to believe, especially when you look at the way Tua's been playing, particularly since he came back from that concussion a couple weeks ago. I mean, he's 4-0. The Dolphins are 7-0 when Tua Tagovailoa starts and finishes games this year. He has the highest passer rating, the highest touchdown to interception ratio. This guy is playing at an exceptional level. And I think for so long we were saying, well, he's got great pieces around him. But especially when you look at that win over the Browns this past weekend, he's distributing the ball really well. The run game is kind of starting to come into its own. And this team is really hard to stop on the offensive side of the ball.
It's wild to imagine that they have risen to first place in the AFC, but they had to take care of business against the Bills, who I think we probably both can agree, despite the record, despite where they are in the division, they're still the class of the AFC. Does Miami believe in itself?
They do. And I think it all starts with Mike McDaniel and the way that this group has really surprisingly rallied around this guy who is just not at all what you think of when you think of an NFL head coach. But Mike McDaniel came in and he said, I believe in this quarterback. And I think that's really what the whole group needed to hear. And then when you see Tua performing the way that he is in Mike McDaniel's offense that is really catered to Tua's skill set, this group believes they can win. And I think like you said, there does feel like maybe there is some pixie dust that is going to get blown away. I've been a little bit concerned about some of the situational decisions that have been made, but they've just been able to kind of get lucky, especially close wins over the Bears and the Lions. You don't really love seeing that, but this team, they don't get down. Even you go all the way back to that game against the Ravens when that fourth quarter comeback. This is a group that really believes in itself, and they believe in Tua.
See, that's the thing. Confidence, as we know, is born from experiencing something. They've done the things that, honestly, the Patriots in 2022, I'm a year back, they haven't really proven to themselves, and they haven't proven to themselves that they can beat the Miami Dolphins over the last several meetings. Ruthie Polinsky, thank you so much. Miss you up here, but we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right, great stuff from all our guests. We put a poll out today, basically just asking about this final 8 games the Patriots have seen. It's brought to you by Shaw's, perfecting the art of fresh. In the final 8 games, I set their total at 3.5. Which were our Twitter followers going with? Over, 67% said they win 4 or more. Under, 3 or less was the number of wins. It's right there. It's a tough one. Here's some comments from the people. Kevin says 4 W's looks like the number. 5 will likely secure a wild card spot. If Mac looks shaky in Q1, he's got a lot of things here, then the BB may have to make a move to Zappy. Okay, Kevin, stop it. But good points by you. Harry Mann Jr., he just says just over. I say wins over the Jets, Cardinals, Raiders, and Bengals. And if we, what are you playing for him now, Harry? Come on. Can get a split with the Bills, who are not the juggernaut we thought, then playoff berth is not that far-fetched at all. And then we got crosstalk with a Bills fan jumping in. If the Bills can get healthy and get the offense clicking again, then they absolutely are the juggernaut you think they are. And then Scully McScully, who I just chose him because of the name. 4 wins, growth potential. Brought to you by Dr. Matthew Presti. Look younger, feel younger, get your hair back. Check this out. Here's how the Patriots have done in their first 8 games the last 4 seasons. You see it there on the left. Okay. The final 8 games the last 3 years. Very, very, very average. This year, TBD. Now, Robert Kraft kind of weighed in on the Patriots' late season fortunes earlier this year. This is the owners' meetings in March.
I'm a Patriot fan, big time, first. And more than anything, it bothers me that we haven't been able to win a playoff game in the last 3 years. Bill has a unique way of doing things. You know, it's worked out pretty well up to now. It doesn't sometimes look straight line to our fans or to myself, but I'm results oriented.
So how will the next 8 games alter the Patriots' future? That is my slant. Watch out! Right now, Patriots are in. They're the 7th seed. They have 8 games left. But the road to 5-4 was kind of easy. Check this out. Strength of victory for the Patriots. 424 winning percentage among the teams they've beaten. Strength of schedule, 465. The Jets account for 6 of the 19 wins, by the way, in that strength of victory. Nobody else that the Patriots have beaten are over 500. The teams they lost to, they were combined 20-19. Patriots have only played 3 teams who are currently playoff bound. They are 1-2 against them. So the upshot, Patriots wins are over teams that, as you suspected, aren't that good. Jared Goff, Jacoby Brissett, Sam Ellinger, Mitch Trubisky, and old Zachary Wilson, not that impressive. But the road from here is way harder. Upcoming opponents have gone 44-30. That's a .595 winning percentage. 5 of the Patriots' final 7 are against current playoff qualifiers. Half of the 8 games are at night. 3 of the night games are on the road. And with this mishmash of teams in the playoff race in both conferences, seeding is going to matter all the way until the end. Tell you this though, if the Patriots get to 10 wins, they finish 5-3, they'll almost certainly be in the postseason against good teams, against all odds. And in defiance of their recent history of December and November swoons, that'll be a huge triumph. A vindication for Bill and everything that he has decided to do this year. But if they do swoon, there's going to be some explaining for Bill to do to Robert Kraft. The regression of Mac Jones, a coordinatorless offense with a first-time play caller. The fact that they have the highest paid tight ends and 3rd highest wideouts in the league and have gotten very little from them. So was Robert just saber-rattling in March? Bill has 8 games to ensure that he will never find out for sure. All right, it's time for Quickfire now. It's presented by your local New England Honda dealers. And with that, since Kay is on a 1-week, 1-show suspension, we go to our guy, Robbie Buckets. I'm going to be over here for this one. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Tom. How are you? Let's first hear from, it's always a former Eagle, LaShawn McCoy on Bill Belichick.
I think he's very blessed to have Tom Brady. And I think now that he doesn't have Tom Brady, he's like all the other coaches, all the other good coaches. The Marvin Lewis's, the Rex Ryans. He's a necklace. I mean, I'm just being honest. People, they hate for you to be real about Belichick. I think he's a good coach, but all the greatest, and we've never seen anything like him. That's bullcrap.
Kay said it all there, but I'll let you sigh in. Shady shade.
You know what? It doesn't matter if it's Phil Jackson or Red Auerbach or Steve Kerr or Bill Walsh or Bill Belichick. You're attached to the guy you have. Yeah, Bill Belichick's the greatest of all time by a lot, by a lot. But he does make a cogent point on some of the other aspects.
He does, but
What?
all right, just give him credit where credit's due. Next, we have Jim Irsay's tweet after the Colts won their first game with Jeff Saturday.
This guy.
Let's take a look at that. All you critics, you criticize all of us in the NFL for losing when we make moves to win. You act so righteous. Who you crap and don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
He's stolen from the Raiders. As you so nicely put it in our email, settle down, Jim.
Settle down, Jim. It's one game with Jeff Saturday in charge. You have every right to take a tiny victory lap, but you don't have to put up a banner, which I'm sure the Colts are considering at this moment. Beat the 2-6 Raiders at home, on the road. They beat them on the road. Poor Josh. We'll talk about him later in the week. We got another one?
We do. Evan Lazar, who seems like a really nice guy. Never met him. Sunday's matchup between the Patriots and Jets features the two lowest rated quarterbacks against pressure this season. Mac Jones 38th, Zach Wilson 39th with a 6.6 rating. If you're just tuning in for the first time, passer ratings on a scale of 0 to 158.3, so that's bad. Tom, will pressure drop? Is both teams just going to blitz each other all game?
Yeah, they will. They'll bring pressure. And the interesting thing with the Patriots is the Jets didn't even have to send extra rushers, no blitzes to get pressure on Mac Jones the first time around. So when we look at this game, the equalizer the first time around was Zach Wilson basically peeing down his leg. If he can avoid that because he makes better decisions, well, then the Patriots have to counter by dealing with a defense that they barely could deal with the first time around. So the heat's on, and what's going to be a very fascinating matchup at Gillette. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for Irrelevant Questions. And were you always a big kid, Josh?
I was a little chubbier growing up. You know, Pop Warner, I used to run with a trash bag, and I had to lose weight. And my father, he was just big on kind of just getting outside and running. So I'd be outside with this, trash bag for hours, just running around. I'd be hungry, take me to McDonald's and get a salad. You know what I'm saying? Like, how torturous is a salad from McDonald's? Like, you've got McChickens, you've got McBurgers, you've got all types of stuff, and I had to get a salad. Shout out to you, Dad.
Let's go down south. Maybe you want to have some barbecue?
If they're known for the season, I might do a pulled pork. Or if we're really in the South, I might go for some crawfish. People don't like crawfish.
They're bugs.
It's an experience.
Would you ever drink hot coffee on a hot day?
Oh, yeah. I prefer cold brew, though.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dunks?
Starbucks. I'm from Southern California, sorry.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we don't have much Dunkin' there.
Do me a favor. Your best representation of any kind of a Boston or New England accent.
Well, you got to roll the Oz. So it's like, Park. My wife's name is Parker.
Okay.
And,
Parker?
a lot of times around here it's Parker.
In my experience, too, is Hunter ends up being Hunnah. Hunter!
Yeah.
Right? 3 years in to living in New England, do you feel like you've got the entire vibe of New England down? Do you know what it's all about? You know what the people are all about?
And I say the driving. Not a lot of turn signals, not a lot of stopping at yield signs. I don't really know if they understand what all the driving laws are. So I say the driving's pretty quirky up here. I ain't gonna lie.
Highly competitive driving. Who would you like to take a long road trip with? SpongeBob, Patrick, Jimmy Neutron, Hey Arnold, or Dexter from Dexter's Lab?
So Jimmy Neutron was actually going to be my second. It was between Arthur and Jimmy Neutron. We didn't have cable growing up, so I had to watch Arthur first, but then when we got cable, it was Jimmy Neutron. So I'm definitely going with Jimmy Neutron because this movie, I used to watch that all the time.
What's your biggest phobia?
No, the open ocean. You know that movie Deep Water or whatever,
Open ocean, just
where
horrible.
people are just out there. They're just like, there's no boat. They're in the middle of the Pacific. Like, I'm not going to survive that. Not because I can't swim, because I'm going to choose not to swim.
What superpower would you really love to have? And which one would you say, I don't know if I need that?
That's a good question because I have a top 3. Like,
okay,
my top 3 is strength, speed, and being able to like teleport from here to anywhere, be strong and be fast. So I can like run with guys like Taekwondo and them. And I really wouldn't want invisibility or the ability to read minds.
Same. Thank you to everyone who participated in Irrelevant Questions. Now time for Nostradamus. These are my predictions for the rest of the season. There you go. Win, loss, loss, win, loss, win, win, loss. Final record's 9-8. I don't know if that's going to get you in. I'm going to be candid. I'm too cold. I was reading it off the monitor. I don't know if that's going to get you in.